Hello, let me just say I don't like either of you.
Well, that's understandable. Aloha and welcome to the show. It's Friday and it's the I was all day I was writing in my paperwork March 31st, March 30th. I was like, where the hell did March go? And tomorrow is April Fool's Day. Now, we're going to pre-show. We're going to this is the pre-show for April Fool's Day. So, we're going to try not to fool you, and we're going to try to show where people are fooling us. Not us, but the general public. And we'll probably have some fun. Maybe. But I see there's some people. Steve was early. I was the first. Normally there's other people in the chat room pre-showing, and there was not tonight. But Raj and Troop is here, and Steve is here, and I'm here, and Kevin is here. Kevin and I was in the middle of an awesome, amazing rant in the back room with Kevin, and then Kevin just froze. I think he purposely froze right in the middle of my rant. So let's add him and see if he's still frozen. No, he's moving. He's moving.
It's still botting.
Yeah,
to me,
Well, it's not botting for me. I have smooth video, and I'm looking. I have the YouTube open over here, and I look smooth as silk. There's like it's funny because I'm doing this. I'm making this gesture right now, and there's like a 10-second delay. So it's really funny.
Delay. I have no delay, literally.
No, I'm talking about on the YouTube.
Oh, hiya, Patrick.
Yeah, I have the YouTube over here on another screen. I don't know why I've been doing that, but I've been doing that recently. So what the hell's going on, Kev?
Nothing. Not a damn thing, actually. Nothing.
Yeah.
Shopping and little boy and well, yeah, I got to go shopping every week. That'll change soon, though.
Shopping is like evil. That's like my least favorite thing to do in the entire world. Is go to
I know you get your shit delivered, but whatever.
Well, I mean, I
got to go get it.
I do have to go to the grocery store once every 7 days or so to buy the big giant bottles of water. I have a water tank, the 5-gallon bottles of water, because there's a deposit. Like you get a refund for the bottles that you bring in, and the delivery people aren't going to come to the house and pick up the empties and take them. So I do have to do that at least once every 7 days or so, because I have five 5-gallon bottles of water for the water cooler. That's normally what we go through in about 7 days. So other than taking care of the kid and going shopping, that's all you've done in the last 7 days?
I've had nothing to do except bitch and complain.
So
motivating.
I was going through all of the communication for the last week that you and I have sent stuff back and forth. And there was the very first thing you sent was a tweet by Greg Conley, and it's no longer there. It's gone. It's deleted. He deleted his tweet.
I'm not sure what it was offhand.
It was the 22nd century. I think he misquoted the numbers. I think he was off by like a magnitude of 10.
Oh, damn.
And I think that's probably it was.
Oh, well.
I think he tweeted in the thousands of cartons, and it was actually millions of cartons. and I think he deleted it because somebody
really
pointed out to
okay
him that he was off by a magnitude of 10. But the percentage increase or decrease in sales of those damn reduced nicotine cigarettes is the same. It's the percent, you know. But
I sold shit.
I don't know.
Is it?
I know there's millions of cartons.
If anybody in the
sold.
room is,
like 5 million cartons or so have been sold, but I don't know where they're selling them because I've never seen them anywhere.
So
now
they sold.
The
1 million got consumed.
I mean,
they're sitting on somebody's shelf.
I
hope not.
I don't go. See, I go when I go to the gas station. I pay at the pump. I very rarely go in. Except the convenience store that they just recently built by my house has a magnificently large walk-in beer cooler. So
and you don't ever see cigarettes anyway, do you?
I do go in there, and then I come out and pay at the counter. But you know, like I said, I recently had to buy gas, and I saw that menthol Juuls were still available, and I still can't figure out whether they pulled their menthols or not, because people haven't. Some people said that they did, and some people I don't know.
I don't know. I can present to you their. I don't know stocks, and you could probably give me a better insight than I would know. But I'll show you with the Victor share screen early on.
Let's see. There's no video on there, right?
Yeah, well, not unless it's it's loading an interactive chart, which I can't stop that. But whatever it is, they're the highest I think I've seen them have is $4. I think, is that big enough?
Well, it's 76 cents a share. That's
cheap. Yeah. I don't know if it. Well, yeah, it's cheap. There's a chart.
That's pretty cheap.
Maybe not. It isn't. It isn't important.
Now's the time, Kevin,
to see this chart. It doesn't matter.
Buy $10,000 worth of stock.
I'm really not going to do that. I'm really not going to do that.
You know, one day that might be worth something.
I'm not going to do it. I do like the conversations though, because some of them are saying it's going to get delisted, and some of them are really mad at the predictions and projections. They're a little upset about that.
Never.
It's funny. $100 million.
I have a rule.
100 million of your tax dollars.
I have a rule when it comes to stock prestidigitation. There's a guy on MSNBC. I think his name is Jim Cramer, and he's sort of a boisterous. He's sort of a boisterous stock guy, and he always acts like he's smarter than everybody. He's the smartest man in the room, and 9 times out of 10, he's way off. But since he's a presenter and he's an entertainer, so he still keeps his job. But he's off by he's always off. But now some of these stories tonight are I didn't intentionally do this, but I didn't pick each and every article that I normally would, because I was trying to not be negative. But even filtering, I found that a good number of them are negative.
No.
So sadly, we have to. We're still going to have to do it. So let me show you this one. Let's open this one. We're going to go over here to this layout.
Right.
So this says courts. Well, no thanks. Courts, teen gets 65 years in killing during vape deal.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy's name is Ong U.
Yeah.
I mean, OO would be ooh,
Imagine.
right?
I
The
would
teenager
think,
who pled guilty to shooting 21-year-old Luke Borer over a few lousy vape cartridges apologized through his attorney, Gregory Ridnour, who read his short statement in court Monday morning. The family of Borer saw little in his demeanor to indicate remorse. That was left to OO's female family members, his mother and aunt, who stood at the mic in Allen Superior Court Judge David Zent's courtroom, trembling as they spoke their words through tears and relying on an interpreter to translate their Burmese to English. I stand up here and I cry, said Luke's father, Matthew Borer, the first of the victim's family to address the judge. I ache for my son. I wish he'd never killed my son. He shot him in the back and the side. Then looking at Ooh, dressed in a black jacket and a check shirt, he repeated his pain. I wish you'd never done that, but you did, or he'd still be here, Borer said. Today he wanted Luke to get justice. Zent listened to many of Luke's family members, including 16-year-old Ooh, the maximum sentence for felony murder of 65 years. In exchange for the plea deal, charges for murder, robbery resulting in death, and using a firearm in the commission of an offense were dismissed, but felony murder carries the same sentence as murder. Murder is murder.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So the dealio on this is when you turn to prohibition, when you turn to creating a black market, you're literally creating criminals, especially when it's
correct.
A habit, something that people enjoy, people need. So yeah, Joey, I know that they're talking about some things in the UK, but vaping is not banned in the UK.
So I didn't see any reports, Patrick. Did you? And I know you scour like the news hounds over at Vapors UK. I didn't see anything in that publication either. I didn't find any nonprofit political front groups celebrating or sad over this death. Not one showed up at court.
No. Yeah, nobody's gonna say, we feel guilty for our part in demonizing this habit and pushing it into a black market that causes people to become criminals and stuff.
And if y'all can't smell the sarcasm, you should. But I'm curious as to why, and I asked on Twitter, did you guys attend this funeral? I mean,
Yeah, this story goes on, but I am not going to read the tearful messages from both families because this is two destroyed lives. This is two young people. One is dead, and the other is going to be in prison for the rest of his life. He's 65 years. He's probably going to be passed around like a box of Kleenexes, and it's it's sad, But this is all caused by
prohibition.
The prohibitionists, the people that hate other people for doing something that they enjoy.
I don't recall if this was THC vape or if this was just nicotine vape. I don't remember now. Not positive.
I don't either.
Either way,
there's been so many of these.
Tragic death is a death.
You remember the one where the mom drove the son to the park to sell vape cartridges to underage kids? And
she was the dealer, yeah.
That ended in tragedy as well.
Yes, sir.
So it is a sad thing. So I saw this video, and this video was presented on Twitter in a certain context. I am not presenting it in that same context. Now I'm going to show the tweet and everything so that I'm not but this was on the day of the tragedy in Nashville.
All right. Yep.
So the person that's tweeting it is tweeting it to insult Biden on one thing, and I'm going to use it to point something else out. So Here is the tweet. Biden after 6 people die, blah blah blah. I'm gonna make this
down.
and then I'm gonna go over here to the very beginning. Pause it real quick so that we can go.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And
Now, I don't know if everybody caught that or not. And, sure, I feel bad for the doddering old man, but he introduces himself. I'm Joe Biden. Listen to what he says.
And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband.
Now, it sounds like he said, I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband, but his wife's name is Jill. So he could have said, I'm Dr. Jill Biden's, and it just came out sounding kind of muffled because he does mumble. Yeah. Now, this,
Did he
again,
say he
I'm
likes
not.
chocolate chip ice cream?
Well, let's go.
That's what he said.
And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip.
See, you talked over it.
No, that was Dustin.
Let's go back. Quit jibber jabbering. Let the audience hear it.
Chocolate chip. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs.
So we have Nancy Pelosi on one of those TV programs from a year ago, bragging about having a freezer full, a Sub-Zero, a very expensive brand of freezer, and show. It was a late night show. It was like the Tonight Show, and bragging about having expensive flavored ice cream, even though apparently only kids like things that taste good and that flavors are addictive. So you're going to hear video later on where they call flavors addictive. I have video of some public health experts saying that flavors are addictive. So that ought to be interesting. Are you muted?
Huh.
But now,
I'm back and forth. Dustin's talking to Mom.
Now we have concrete proof that old people like things that taste good, because we have Nancy Pelosi, who is obviously an old person, bragging about having all the different flavors of expensive, like Talenti ice cream, and now we have Joe Biden.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a gelato.
I don't care what it is.
Gelato.
And
well, you asked.
And even
I'm telling you what it is.
I said I don't know what it is. I didn't say what is it. Now, Ed, with all the patina on him, I think he likes flavors. Just so there's that.
Well, I mean, you're getting pretty close to those high digit numbers. I know. So do I. High digit numbers.
Click, 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 click. Chocolate chip ice cream.
Chocolate chip ice cream is okay. It's not my favorite, but I like other.
That's a surprise. You all like coffee.
I actually do like coffee flavored ice cream.
But if it's chocolate chip, it's mint chocolate chip for me.
Oh, I hate mint. No, that's gross, man.
Well, then there you go. Is that bad?
I had a friend years ago, and I think Five Ponds even has like a chocolate mint, I think. And but I had a friend years ago that had a juice line who had a mint chocolate chip flavor, and just wasn't my thing. But I don't like real like chocolate mints either. You know, the Andes candies that you see. Butter pecan. Steve is right on the money down here. Butter pecan is probably in the top 5 awesome flavors. I would just say top 5 and not give each one a position on there. Yeah, Troop is confirming that Five Ponds does have a chocolate mint called Bowden's Mate.
There you go.
So, see, I was correct.
Look at you go.
Yeah. See, all of my favorites, my most favorite is Five Ponds is a thing called Nona's. And they only brought it out at Christmas time when they could bring out seasonal flavors. And Nona's is no longer going to be available because it's not cost effective to bring out a flavor once a year. But that was pretty high up there. Yep. So then I think you found this one. I don't think I found this one. This is from one of our favorite assholes websites.
Do I have more than one? I'm not sure.
What?
There's a list probably.
Well, I mean, this is from Bloomberg Law. Bloomberg Law.
Look at that beautiful fresh advertising.
Yeah, $9.99 a pack for Marlboros.
That's not bad.
$8.95 a pack for Cools and Maverick.
7 something.
It says $8.98. $6.95. $6.95 for Winston's.
Wow.
Yeah. I had to squint, but yeah. So let's see. It says ex-FDA tobacco head advising company on smoking cessation or smoker cessation.
Hydrate, people. Hydrate.
So Qnova is preparing an application to FDA, and a product presents opportunity in tobacco response. A former head of the FDA's Tobacco Center has joined the advisory board of a company developing a first-of-its-kind smoking cessation inhalation product that he says has the potential to be a game changer in lowering U.S. tobacco use.
Say it isn't so.
Mitch Zeller, who led the Center for Tobacco Products from March of 2013 until his retirement in April of 2022, is now providing policy and regulatory strategy consulting to Qnova Inc., a pharmaceutical company focused on inhaled therapeutics. The company is currently preparing an application to the FDA's Drug Administration Center for Drug Evaluation and Research for a cessation therapy. If approved, will be the first inhaled prescription therapy to help tobacco smokers quit. Now, the first one here in the States, because they are other inhalables. There's a spray, right? And they used to have like an inhaler type thing.
Yep, Nicotrol.
Nicotrol, yes.
Yeah.
I remember those. Zeller's addition to the company's advisory board comes as the FDA aims to finalize proposed bans on menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars by August. The FDA also plans to propose a rule limiting nicotine levels in cigarettes and some other tobacco products. Zeller said access to Qnova's product can be one essential tool, along with an administration-wide effort to provide support to those with nicotine addictions once these product standards take effect. Some people will be able to quit cold turkey, but a whole bunch won't, and they will be seeking nicotine elsewhere, Zeller said in an interview. The last thing we want smokers to do, if any of these policies go into effect, is to simply switch to another tobacco product. Well, the one that would be most successful... The one that you deemed a tobacco product, it's not really a tobacco product.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's right. He created these rules that he knows about to advise with. Isn't that convenient?
See, you notice how if they'd have just left vaping alone and never deemed it a tobacco product, then it wouldn't be going from one tobacco product to another tobacco product.
No.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention describes tobacco use as the leading cause of preventable disease, disability, and death In the United States, an estimated 40 million American adults currently smoke cigarettes, with more than 3 million middle and high school students identifying as tobacco users. Do these high school and middle and high school students identify as tobacco users? Do you think they identify as tobacco users?
Well, or again, your prediction came true. It's now more than 3 million.
Oh yes,
yeah.
I told you they're gonna fuck around with those numbers. They're gonna massage those numbers. They're gonna make up those numbers as much as possible. Nearly 500,000 Americans died prematurely that's 480,000. But that number hasn't changed, Kevin,
wait.
The last decade or so.
Nope, you're wrong. And I think it was long associated. I actually looked for this the other day. 520,000 was the last number I did see, and I don't remember who had it yet. I'll find it.
What do you mean the last number? So now they're saying that more people are dying?
520 is
because it was 480 for like a decade. That was the number that they kept using, was 480. Now it's 520.
Changes. Well, somebody did it. I don't know if it was lung association, heart. I can't find it, and I ain't got time. Either way, it was a larger number.
So
stunningly.
So now, if so they say that, and I'm not disputing, but I'm going to use the word they say. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take this off screen for a second, Kevin, so that people can see the veracity. They can understand by looking at our faces when I say this. So they say that smoking causes literally every lung disease that you can have.
That's correct.
They say that cigarettes cause cardiac problems. Right? They say that. And they say cancer. Every kind of cancer is smoking fault. Mm-hmm. So, do you think that they're including every person that dies of a cardiac event, every person that dies of a lung issue, or every person that has cancer? Are they just adding those people all up and saying 520,000 people?
Well, I think they are.
Or are they questioning each and every person that dies with one of those health problems and asking, did you smoke? Or
did you smoke once in the
obviously
past 30
if you're dead, they have to ask their family, did your mom, pop, uncle, whatever, aunt, did they smoke? Because to truly really divvy up these numbers of people that die, and it's sad when people die, I'm not making light of it, but it seems to me like maybe they're adding every heart attack that could be, whether that's somebody born with a heart defect or the 400-pound guy that eats a bucket of chicken every 5 minutes. Are they adding all those in to get that 520, you think?
I doubt it. I found, and
so you actually think that they're questioning every person that's died of one of those health conditions and asked them specifically, did your relative have a smoking problem?
Were you living with a smoker, etc.? Yeah.
So you think they're asking all that information when somebody dies?
Well, that's the funny thing. I tagged you on July 24th, 2022, because we had just discussed it. I'm going to share it because this is coming up, so we're going to share it on the present screen. Now, I don't think we're going to sit here and watch it tonight, but we may peruse it. Let me rub it. Sorry, I forgot to rub it on the Victor share screen.
Then that thing is small. And it's black.
Now, clearly, shut up. It's easy on the eyes. I'm old and I can't stand the white.
It's harder. It's harder for me. I'm old eyes.
I said, hey, dumbass. I tagged you right there. Hey, dumbass. Brent asks Dr. Rodu. I'm sorry. Brent asked and Dr. Rodu speaks of those 480 numbers and smoking-related deaths we discussed Friday night, which was the weekend before. Guess why no one can find the answer to that data? It doesn't exist. They hide it. Nobody knows. They just make shit up.
You specifically just did not. You just said that you think that number is accurate, and they're only counting people that smoke. That's what you just said.
No.
Yes.
I'd have to go back to the tape.
We can't go back to people in the chat room will know. I asked you specifically, are they just lumping everybody in? And you said no.
Then I meant yes.
That's why I was dumbfounded with your nonsensical response.
Well, that's why you're sillier than me. When I watched it, I was like, aha, there is no real answer to the questions. So no, I'm not saying that it doesn't. I know for a fact.
I have patient. No, I said I'm not saying that they don't, but I'm just saying that there are other causes for those same conditions.
Well, the chick in the comment.
Are they adding the asbestos people in with the smoking people in with the?
They have to be.
I'm just because I know for a fact I've had patients that died, and nobody ever showed up with a clipboard and a questionnaire and asked the family these questions.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's an extrapolated number based upon something, and
it's the best guess.
Really, exactly. But the number's been the same for how many years?
That's what I just said, like a decade.
Change. Yeah, easily.
And now that we had COVID for 4 years, people were dying of stuff. Are some of those people that died of heart attacks and breathing problems from COVID being included into the 480? That's why the number went up to 520.
Probably, yeah.
See? Anyway.
It's a strange tobacco control math, I guess.
Yeah. Nearly 500,000. I already said that. FDA Commissioner Robert M. Califf said in a House hearing Wednesday on the agency's fiscal 2024 budget request that the FDA is on track to finalize the proposed menthol and characterized flavor bans by August. He cautioned, though, that, and I quote, "Our health systems are not set up to deal with the number of tobacco users coming off their addiction once they are no longer able to access these products."
Because they're not going to be accessible.
No, but he's saying that our healthcare systems are not set up to deal with all the addicts that will be coming to the hospital because they're having other symptoms from withdrawal.
Sure. Yeah. There's going to be some angry people.
I'm just going to go get like I'm going to buy stock in a Chinese nicotine patch company.
Uh-oh, Michael's in the room. Straighten up, fly right.
Now, we didn't say hello to Mallory either when she showed up.
Mal.
Yeah. Zeller said addressing nicotine addiction requires a more coordinated government approach that includes additional therapies available to smokers, insurance coverage for these products, and other support like counseling services and public education. Now, here's the thing. You see this insurance coverage line right here?
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's a bullshit story.
Most insurance companies already charge you a penalty for being a tobacco user or a nicotine user. So they're going to charge you a penalty. They're going to charge you a $25 a month penalty. And then maybe they'll but I think if they're going to charge you a penalty for using nicotine, how are they going to justify paying for a nicotine replacement?
Well, see, funny math how it works.
These are the questions that come to my mind. The government has, I would say, a moral and ethical responsibility to step up its game when it comes to treatment, he said.
Key in on that word, treatment.
Treatment.
You like that?
Treatment. Are you in treatment, Kevin?
Yes, I take my daily dose.
Are you
About
in recovery? Are you
10
in
million times a
recovery?
day. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong for those words, recovery, treatment. There's nothing wrong with
Not a
those
bit.
words.
Not a bit.
So, I want to put that out there. We're not saying bad things about addicts. We believe in compassion for people that need substances. So, yes. We don't like bad words that demonize. There was a whole thread on Twitter about that. I'm not going to cover that tonight, but we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Compassionate verbiage. The FDA has already approved and cleared some nicotine replacement therapies, which are intended to help smokers quit by gradually providing the body with smaller doses of nicotine over time without the toxic chemicals included in combustible cigarettes. Prescription treatments include nicotine sprays and inhalers, while over-the-counter therapies are offered through skin patches, chewing gum, and lozenges. Prior to leading the Tobacco Center, Zeller worked for a decade as a senior vice president for pharmaceutical and healthcare consulting with Piney Associates. Zeller said that while serving in this role, he witnessed how ineffective existing NRT products were in the real world. Do you see how he says things like this now that he's not being paid by the FDA?
Well, it's a therapy thing.
Like, you never saw
Criticism comes fast and hard.
You never saw him go in front of Congress and say there has been no innovation, no improvements in NRT
in 35 years.
In 35 years. Now, King Gottlieb did make a statement kind of to that effect, that there had been no new innovation in that category, but still, they didn't actually do anything to change that, though. Because
and he did tweet that it's 7%.
It is 7%. But you know what cold turkey is, Kevin?
Well, yeah.
I mean, do you know what the percentage, the success rate for cold turkey
success? Is? 2?
5.
I remember.
5%.
Is it 5 really? There you go.
Yes. But about 35% of that number will return to smoking within 5 years, or within the year, within 1 year.
Within the year.
Yeah.
So that drops it down.
If cold turkey is 5% successful and NRT is only 7% successful, do you see the problem here? This FDA approved thing is supposed to be so awesome, and it's only 2% better. Yeah.
Huh, imagine that.
Steve is bringing up somebody that I can't even see on Twitter anymore. I can't see Chapman on Twitter, so
not according to Chapman.
He's invisible to me.
He's an anecdotal twit.
Primarily, he says, because when you deliver nicotine orally or dermally through the patch, that delivery is really slow. By contrast, a cigarette is designed to deliver the nicotine to the brain in less than 10 seconds after one takes a puff. A 2020 U.S. Surgeon General report found that more than 3 out of 5 U.S. adults who have smoked cigarettes have quit, and that while a majority attempt to quit each year, less than 1/3 use FDA-approved cessation medications or behavioral counseling because, again, we just told you, they're only 7% successful. Now, Zeller is helping Qnova meet the requirements for FDA approval. Qnova's products is a 12-week step-down therapy that provides smaller, measured doses of nicotine through an inhalation device. That sounds really familiar, except for the actual 12-week thing. Qnova CEO Brian Quigley, who previously served as president and CEO of the tobacco manufacturer Altria Group. This is a murderer's row of tobacco people here. You got the regulator with Zeller and the regulatee with Quigley working hand in hand. Huh. I wonder, do we have precedent for tobacco regulators and tobacco sellers ever working together before, Kevin?
I'm botting, but what, collusion?
Yes. Yes, we have a long history of those two groups, FDA and tobacco, working hand in hand to protect cigarette sales. We know that. Like,
it's as close to RICO as I can imagine. It's money laundering, everything, all of it.
Raj, I don't think it's a secret. I think Chipman, he's like, did you see the video? Like, there's a video of Simon Chapman on YouTube singing in a cover band.
Oh,
I mean, obviously he's because he's awful. Obviously he's hitting the marijuana.
Seems, could, might.
Qnova is seeking FDA approval for cessation therapy through the FDA's 505(b)(2) pathway for new drug applications, which requires reports of safety and effectiveness investigations, where some of the information may come from outside studies or published literature.
Thank goodness.
Quigley said in an interview that. Why is there two that's there?
Because nobody knows how to write.
An interview that the company conducted its first pre-application meeting with the FDA in 2019. Oh my God!
What?
So this company, are you reading this? So this company introduced their product and did the pre-application with the FDA in 2019. And who was the head of the CTP in 2019?
When did he leave? 2020? End of
2022.
Oh, was it 22?
Yes, he just left last April.
Oh, who better
and has
to know?
Completed all safety studies associated with the product. The company hopes. So they met with FDA in 2019, introduced them to their product. Here's our pre-application. And now in 2023, 4 years later, Mitch Zeller leaves FDA and goes to work for this same company.
Huh. That's interesting.
Now, you said the word collusion a while ago, but come on.
I already read this one. I cheated.
When they sent it to
I had insider information. God.
Hey. One unique challenge in getting Qnova's product approved is demonstrating the safety of breathing in the therapy. Inhalationers. Oh no. I wonder what their carrier is going to be. Do you think it's going to be PG and VG?
I hope so. Oh my God. This is exactly what warned me about 5 years ago, 7 years ago.
God, this is like, this is as corrupt, man. I mean, I can't be the only one that notices that right here in their fucking story.
Patrick, when I do my research misconduct little tweet, it says it has to be in the opinion of others that it's outside the standard. This is well within the standard.
The standard's all fucked up, though. I mean,
there's going to be no troubles because everybody agrees that this is not collusion.
Inhalation raises a set of questions about safety because you're talking about pulmonary delivery that obviously are not present with gum, patch, and lozenge on the safety side, Zeller said. But the flip side of that is efficacy.
Well, sure.
Quigley said he believes the FDA understands the potential impact of what delivering the drug more quickly when the patient is really feeling the craving, what that can do to improving efficacy outcomes. So he's saying that FDA understands that inhalable nicotine is going to satisfy a smoker and help a smoker quit more successfully than one applied through a chewing method or a dissolvable method in your mouth or a transdermal patch.
Or injection, or yeah.
I wonder where he could have learned that from.
I don't know. Do you think, and this is just outside the box.
Are you sharing something on purpose?
Am I? No, I probably just didn't stop sharing or something. I don't know.
Is that a new thing?
No.
I've been sitting here going, I hope, am I supposed to share this? I don't know. Because it doesn't look the same.
Well, there is something I'm going to share, but I don't remember doing that. I just didn't stop.
But
go ahead.
I was just going to read the next sentence, but what?
Do you think within about 3 years these people will start looking at people that do what we do and the patent problems will start coming out?
Nah.
No.
Because the patent will have a usage built into the application. So
okay.
So it just like when you trademark something for a certain category, like apparel or entertainment or publishing or whatever. Same thing with patents. When you patent a technology, and since this is probably built on another thing, like this company says specifically it said they specialize in inhalable therapies.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably using the same technology that they've patented for drug delivery of asthma medicine. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
Replace the active ingredient, and then you're just using a derivative patent.
Okay.
That you remember? That's why Philip Morris bought up all those different drug companies last year. Was not for the products that they were currently producing, but for the technology of their delivery.
Yeah.
So.
Gotcha.
Tonight is sponsored by Sparkling Ice Flavored Water.
Ching.
Zero sugar with vitamins and antioxidants.
That's right.
Yeah, see.
Hydrate. It's important.
Yes, but cannabis therapy alone won't be enough to reduce tobacco consumption across the U.S., Zeller said. There needs to be a whole government approach to this, he said. FDA has nothing to do with reimbursement policy, so the Department of Health and Human Services needs to play a leadership role in bringing everyone together to address tobacco cessation and look at it through every facet. An FDA commissioned outside review by the Reagan-Udall Foundation found that FDA's tobacco division lacks a clear strategy to regulate the industry and reduce harms from tobacco use. I could have said they could have just given me the money, and I could have told them that. We've been saying this for a decade. They don't understand they don't understand the industry. They don't understand the technology. They have no plan. That's why they haven't done any enforcement. Let's see. The group's report released in December called for the FDA to work better with the administration to make enforcement of the tobacco laws a government-wide priority, especially to address the marketing of illegal products and the risk of youth use. So, in their mind, Kevin. So when you and I and Addie and Tic Tac and Steve and Raj and Michael and everybody in the chat room, when we use the word marketing, we think of that as advertisement.
That's correct,
right? That's that's what we assume that word what it means. In their mind, the word marketing is everything, literally
availability,
everything.
right? Yeah.
Whether you actually name the product, whether you actually
Carry
label
the
the product with a picture of a fruit on it, if it's a fruit flavor, that in their mind, that is marketing. So if you create a label that is a plain label and you have a strawberry banana liquid and you throw a picture of a strawberry and a picture of a banana on the label because it's strawberry banana, as far as they're concerned,
It's marketing.
that's marketing.
Sure it is.
And
of course
as
it
far
is.
as you and I are concerned, that is just showing us what it's supposed to taste like.
So I don't taste shit and Chapman in my mouth. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So see, Michael actually, he's already created a child-friendly label right there. The strawberry and the banana.
I can't believe he did that.
Yeah. I mean, there it is. Michael is now
Yeah,
Michael is advertising to youth. That's what they're saying is advertisement is the banana and the strawberry.
It's
in
it's
their
all in the
mind,
wording, though, right?
because none of these e-liquid companies, I was about ready to say assholes. None of these e-liquid people, none of them are having commercials on TV.
No.
None of them are having radio commercials anymore. None of them are putting out advertisements in magazines, other than in industry magazines, which they're dying off. You know, the company themselves are not doing that. Now, you and I, Kevin, if I were to hold up a bottle of liquid show it on the camera, I'm not doing that. But if I were, then I would be apparently advertising to kids. I mean, my liquid has a handwritten label that just tells me which batch.
Oh my God, you're marketing to me. Why are you marketing that to me?
Now I'm marketing test number 5, version 2 to you.
Well, it's funny that you can show a strawberry and a banana, and it's all in the wording, even when there's no wording that it's marketing. So the perception is.
But in their mind, that label with the picture of a fruit and a banana, that is specifically youth targeted advertisement, Kevin.
But what was at the top of this article? What was the photo at the top of the article?
Is cigarettes.
Or was it this one? It may have been what?
No, it was this one.
So those banned since 1971 or 2, banned, completely banned to do this through television and radio ad, are still able to do this every single day. That is marketing.
This is Bloomberg. You would think we should ask specifically, hey, Bloomberg, you're so anti-tobacco and you like to run everyone's lives, but the stock photo that you're using is cigarettes, and isn't that illegal?
It's marketing, but they're nonprofits have access to that. They can do anything they want.
Yeah,
they're found innocent. Cool Marlboro ad. Yes, Michael. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I ask on occasion. What beautiful marketing.
Great. So it says here,
ad. Beautiful.
Because down here you'll see that somebody has to get their name dropped in here. Tobacco industry and consumer groups have expressed concern on the availability of alternatives for smokers to turn to once the FDA finalizes its menthol and characterizing flavor product standards, arguing that some may turn to an illicit, unregulated market of products. Not according to Ms. Zeller in 2016. He said there will be no black market. FDA has said menthol bans would not apply to tobacco manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers, not individual consumers, and that any illicit market is estimated to be relatively small. The FDA has said would only apply to tobacco manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers, and not individual consumers.
Right.
So, do they think that
it's on the wording?
Joe Bob that likes his menthol cools is going to learn how to go and buy menthol oil or menthol flavoring and add it to his combustible Marlboro unflavored. Do you think he's going to do that?
I know they will. There's no doubt in my mind.
If he doesn't have menthol, now, I mean, I actually know a secret. I know how to fix this.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
actually know how to do. If you take a Hall's cough drop and put it in your mouth and then light a cigarette,
Same thing.
you've got a menthol cigarette.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done thought of that. I ain't that smart.
Well, that's because when I was younger and I smoked and I would get a cold, I would be coughing and drop the cough drop and then light a cigarette, and then all of a sudden your cigarette becomes a menthol cigarette.
And as a bonus, you got a menthol breath after. You don't have any cigarette smoke in your mouth, right? I don't know. I don't like menthol.
See, Michael and Tic Tac are both in the chat room talking about menthol crystals are easy to get. I didn't say they were hard to get. I said, do you think the average Joe menthol smoker is going to do that?
I bet they will.
You and I got stuff. Like I got stuff. I'm not worried about me. I got WS-23. I got menthol over here, even
Jan's
though I don't use either of them. I have them. I can do that, but I'm not worried about me. What are you muttering under your breath, Kevin? What?
I'm speaking to my wife, sir.
Oh, WS-23 is a cooling agent. You know what that is. The average smoker will get the crushed pellets, but those will not be available. That will be considered a tobacco product.
She's more important than you are.
That is true. I'm not denying that, but I said WS-23, and then you said WS-23, and I'm like, what? What? Why are you repeating?
Because she heard her name, she wanted to know why.
Is her name WS-23? I didn't say Janice.
I said Janice has some of that, and she said what? Oh,
Addie is just figuring out that Paul is Tic Tac.
Hey, well, you have fun with that now because it is fun. If you could indulge me just for a minute, just pretend I'm dumber than you think I normally am. Are you seeing what I'm seeing in this article, that the guy that ran the place is now criticizing the place he ran for 19 years?
Yeah.
And he knows they can do better, but he didn't say a word the whole time he was there.
Didn't I just say that up further up there when I was saying that he knows that NRT is ineffective?
Sometimes I just need reinforcement to be sure that I'm right.
I'm just saying.
Oh, my fucking word.
So consumers can add nicotine or add menthol to their own shit is basically what he's saying here. The FDA has said the menthol bans would only apply to tobacco manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers, and not individual consumers. So you can flavor your own damn cigarettes, is what he's saying.
Or you can get them on the black market at your own risk, and you won't get in trouble.
I don't think that's
the way I see it.
I don't think he's saying that you won't get in trouble if you were to buy it.
Individual.
So
consumers.
if I were to go and buy menthol cigarettes off of the illegal black market, that's a crime. But if I were to go buy a carton of regular cigarettes and add menthol myself, that is no longer a crime.
Oh,
that makes no sense to me. So either the product itself is unsafe, or it isn't. So are they saying that? So they're essentially admitting adding menthol to your cigarettes or buying menthol cigarettes are not any worse than regular cigarettes. I mean, literally, that's
okay.
That's what they're saying.
Evident.
So when it's Zeller's blah 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 blah.
DIY.
Yeah. Zeller said taking on regulatory policies to limit tobacco products comes with it the responsibility to address the need for improved products, programs, and services to help smokers quit. So in the when was he the head of the FDA? Let me scroll back up here. I saw a date, 2013. So he was there for 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 9 years. He was there for 9 years. 9 years, Kevin. And he did, now he says that it's the FDA's responsibility to foster the creation of improved products, programs, and services to help smokers quit. But in the 9 years that he was at FDA, he didn't do any of that. None. No product, no new product innovation, no requests to Pfizer or Moderna, not Moderna, any of these companies that make NRT products, no requests to them to, hey, maybe you should improve the products that we've approved. We'll help you get them through. Don't worry. No, none. He says, I hope this administration will see this is an administration-wide obligation to take a comprehensive approach to reducing tobacco use. Kevin, what? He locked up? He disappeared? What? I was in the middle of a perfectly good rant. Did you hear the whole 9 years part, Kevin? Hello, Kevin.
I'm still botting.
Why are you botting?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Did you?
At least you heard me.
Did you restart your computer recently? Maybe. Michael Bloomberg has campaigned and given money in support of a ban on flavored e-cigarettes and tobacco. Bloomberg Law is operated by entities controlled by Michael. See, at least they're throwing in the fact that the company that owns their asses, the guy that owns their asses, is really pushing an agenda. At least they did that.
I restart it every week.
I think you need to restart your Wi-Fi
for the
box.
show. Every week.
Every week. Go restart your Wi-Fi and come back. I think that's what it is. I think your shit's all locked up. Jeffrey Zamora is here. Hello, Jeffrey Zamora. Jeffrey Zamora is an award-winning documentarian. I have to. I'll send you an award so that we can use that. Jeffrey, I'll make you a certificate. You are the winner of the 2023 Independent Film Promoting Tobacco Harm Reduction Award. So now you are an award-winning documentarian. No, he's not wired yet because he's waiting till the other kid leaves so that he can take the bigger room for his studio, is what he said. But anywho, maybe he went to reboot his network, because I think that's what it is. Because I could run a Wi-Fi test myself. Where's my speed test? I'm not Wi-Fi. Speed test. Oh, he's doing that. Yeah, see? You'll have to come on at some point and give an acceptance speech for accepting your reward. But let's see. Let speed test make sure it's not my fault, because I wouldn't want anybody thinking it's my fault. So let's go. Let's go. My speed test is telling me I'm about 30 megabits per second. My upload, my upload is at 5, 7, 6, 7. It's going pretty high. Yeah, I could share my screen, but then you might get my private information like my DNS number. But it says my upload speed is 733 megabits per second. So I think we're doing pretty okay. That's not too bad. But anyway, since Kevin is gone, we will continue. We will continue down the shitty path. Well, I think I was botting because of the speed test, actually. I'm not botting anymore. Am I? Am I? Yeah, my down is crazy high, but my up is a little slow. But anyway. No, the other way around. My down is... Is it better now? Steve? I'm still botting some? I can't be. Let me go over here to my connections. Let's see. Let's see if this connection is any faster. Let me know if I'm botting now. But anyway, this says, Dad killed outside Vancouver Starbucks after allegedly asking attacker not to vape near his toddler. That is not cool. That is not cool. I mean, this was widely reported. This was widely reported across multiple sites this week. A 37-year-old father was stabbed to death outside a Starbucks in Canada in front of his 3-year-old daughter and fiance after he asked the attacker not to vape in front of his child, according to his family. Paul Stanley Schmidt and his daughter Erica were outside the coffee shop around 5:30 p.m. Sunday while his fiance Ashley Umali was getting drinks, his mother told the Vancouver Sun. A terrifying video posted on social media captured the moment a man stabbed Schmidt, who was seen clutching his stomach as he staggered and collapsed in a pool of blood. Now, it's disturbing to me that this is Canada, because they're supposed to be much more polite and, less tempersome. And I'm really not making a joke. This guy died. This is not cool. Schmidt said she was told the suspect, Interdeep Singh Gosa, 32, carried out the attack after her son asked him not to vape in front of Erica. And don't even ask, because I will not try to find the video. This is so horribly wrong what happened. He was just trying to protect his daughter. I'm angry and I'm sad, she told the news website. It all started because he was vaping out beside the baby. Ashley's in shock. She watched the whole thing. She's so devastated, Schmidt added. So, short and sad story. My God, people, please tell me if someone came up to you because you were standing right beside their child and you were vaping and asked, could you please not do that right next to my kid, that you would say, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, and then walk away. Like, separate yourself from the child or anyone. I mean, literally, if an adult person walked up to me and said, please don't blow that smoke in in front of me, first I would say, I'm sorry it's bothering you. It's not smoke, but I will move away. Please tell me every one of you assholes, not you, but all the other assholes, would at least be courteous enough not to offend people around them, even though you and I know it's harmless. But we still should, be courteous of other people's feelings, because that is horribly tragic. Horribly tragic. I can't believe it. Over a fucking vape. I mean, this is the second story that we've covered tonight about somebody who's getting killed in one way, shape, or form attached or associated with vaping. You know, obviously the guy getting sentenced to 65 years in prison because he killed another guy over selling, fucking vape cartridges. And now this guy gets stabbed to death because he asked somebody to move away from his child. That's crazy. That is bullshit crazy. I don't know. Maybe we chased Kevin off. Maybe he's frustrated because his internets are slow. All right. So anyway, oh dear Lord. Let's present this one. Share screen. I need a producer. That's what I need. I need somebody to do this for me. So this is from the KRTV in Great Falls. Are you there, Kevin Webby?
Yes.
Your camera is turned off. You sound quite nice, actually. Your audio is good.
I want to try it without the camera, just to experiment. What? Now, what'd you do that for? What's this taking a toke thing?
No. I was going to turn my camera off and use my audio. My audio doohickey too. Should I do that?
I'm experimenting just to see what's going to happen because it's
nobody needs
weird.
to see our faces anyway.
Well, we ain't that pretty.
I did a whole story while you were away. A poor man getting killed outside of a Starbucks in Canada because he asked somebody to move away from his child because they were vaping. And I asked everyone in the chat room. The only one that actually responded was Steve. And I asked specifically, would you stab somebody for asking you to move? And Steve was the only one that said I would be nice. But I think he's also Canadian.
Well, that seemed to not have a whole lot of context in that story, but I'm not pleased that happened, of course, but it seems like there's a missing context. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the guy could have been upset that his coffee was so expensive, but I mean,
right.
You specifically chose to go to Starbucks to pay $7 for a small coffee, but
more to the story. That's what I'm.
All right. So this is from Montana, KRTV, Great Falls, Montana.
Yep.
And it says, taking a toke aims to educate youth about vaping dangers. I don't know. I didn't share audio, so. Students from across Montana recently received a visit from two people passionate about decreasing vaping and electronic cigarette use among youth. Lori Tobin, producer of Taking a Toke, showed her documentary about the harmful effects of vaping to more than 500 students in Montana. The documentary featured double lung transplant recipient Daniel Ament. Everybody remembers Daniel, don't you? Daniel was the guy that said that he was vaping nicotine when he really wasn't. And then he turned around and monetized the shit out of his lie, and now runs a nonprofit where he probably gives himself a six-figure pay for going and touring the country to schools and telling lies to kids. But anyway, Ament said, I was only vaping for around 9 months. It was on and off before he started noticing symptoms of shortness of breath that caused him to seek medical intervention. Ament ended up in a medically induced coma after the operation and is still recovering to this day. Ament's recovery inspired him to start a nonprofit called Fight for Wellness to share his story and warn kids about the harmful effects of vaping. Toole County tobacco education specialist Shiloh Neal coordinated the visit from Ament and Tobin and stated Montana does have resources for youth, but they are limited. Montana has a youth quit line specifically for kids. It's called My Life, My Quit. It is 100% confidential and is 100% free, said Neal. Now, do they have a comment section down here?
Very few anymore.
No. But does KRTV have a Twitter? Oh, yes, they do. All right, boys and girls. I guess now let's see if did they tweet anything in their own Twitter about the lie that they just perpetuated? Let's see. Because I think we should definitely respond to their Twitter if they shared it. Otherwise, we're going to have to tweet at them, letting them know that they were misled. They were misled. Yes, I think we should let them know that they just told a story full of lies, that the guy that they're heralding as a hero is actually a liar.
So if you copy the article.
Well, I know how to do Twitter, dumbass. I was wondering if I needed to respond to them, or did I need to go over here and copy this?
Yeah.
Copy. And then go back forward to their.
Yeah.
So, because I want to at them.
Yeah.
But I also, does anyone have a screenshot of the thing? I know that there's an actual screenshot floating around from him admitting that he was vaping bad stuff.
Oh, I'm sure somebody does somewhere.
The last time we talked about Daniel, somebody
probably Mallory
had that screenshot. Let's see. Let me go over here. I bet you if I do. If I go to Daniel Ament,
there you go.
Normally, no. Yeah,
you can go up and hit photos. It might show it. There it is, right there.
There it is, right there.
Yep.
Thank you, Juka.
Yeah.
No, I want this picture. There. There. Now we have what we need to construct a conceived tweet. Because I would want to do a good job when I tweet at these people. And this is something that we used to do all the time on the show, Kevin. We used to do live tweeting right here on the show.
Yep.
And we haven't done so in a while, so it's good to make everyone comfortable with the situation, that we show them, because not everyone that watches or listens to our show are tweeters.
Right. Yeah.
Or
tweeters. Proficient.
Yes. So I want to go. Hey, comma, at KRTV. There you are. Period. So your story
keyword
out What was that article called? Here, I'm going to go down here. But first, I want to make sure I include the screen grab as the picture, because if you include a link, see, this is one thing. If you want to include a link, but you don't want that link to be the preview,
Yep.
you actually have to include the photograph before you put the thing in. There's a way to change that, but it's just easier if you do it that way. But I want to remember paste. Oh, taking a toke. Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, about the
Literally.
Oh no, they used a single apostrophe. Taking toke program, and the documentary was called "Taking a Toke" as well. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Documentary. Period. Here we go. Let's see. Not sure if you or the filmmaker are aware that the person you how do I want to say this, Kevin? The person you
featured,
yeah, that's a good word. Featured is lying by omission about what he was vaping. Period. He has monetized
capitalization.
What? Oh yeah. I have to fix my typos for sure. My keyboard, for some reason, likes to skip characters every once in a while. Monetized his illicit THC usage
with his very own nonprofit.
Yeah. By clouding. No, I don't want to do that. By starting here, I'll do your starting his own non-profit and confusing. We're gonna run out of characters.
Yeah.
People about nicotine. All right, so now we have to go through here and remove some words so that we don't have.
Are you unaware that the person?
Huh?
Instead of not sure if you, and you can put, are you unaware?
Is that shorter?
Well, if you could take out the filmmaker, take out not sure if you are the filmmaker are aware and make it not aware,
Okay, so let's see. Are you aware? No, are you aware that the person you featured is lying about what he was vaping? Yeah. See?
And you could paragraph at he if you like. That's up to you.
I mean, it's not gonna matter. I can do that like that. Yeah. Is that what you want? Are you? Make sure I didn't misspell anything. Saw your story about the taking the Toke documentary. Are you aware that the person you featured is lying about what he was vaping? He has monetized his illicit THC usage by starting a nonprofit and confusing people about nicotine.
Do you want that as a question or as a statement?
Are you aware? Yeah, it should be a question mark. It should be definitely be a question
Either
mark.
way, that's what I would do. But yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could have said, "I'm sure you're aware."
Oh, see, Bill sent me. I got a private message from Bill, but I hadn't been able to open it because we're doing this live on the air. And he says that he sent us a link to the YouTube interview of the filmmaker talking about how we are all lying.
Yeah, we're in collusion. Bill's our leader.
Hey, Bill is even better at the Google food than I am. He sends me links all the time, like right after they're published, like
minutes.
Yes, like he's blam.
Periodically,
he'll send a link to something that I already have sent you, but more than likely,
rarely,
I haven't sent it you yet. Yeah. More than likely, so we're pretty good. That's I
love Bill. Hi, Bill.
He's been ghosting us. I think he's been watching and he just hasn't been chatting as much. Let's see.
Yeah. Now, Mallory above said that the University of Michigan called them out, called Emmett out for his lies. I don't know if it was this or not.
Yes, I remember that.
I didn't want to interrupt your typing. Comma.
No, I'm actually opening the link. It's a 7-minute long. It's a 7-minute long YouTube video. The one that Bill sent us the link for. I may not show it live, but I am going to go and I'm gonna swipe it off of the YouTubes.
Yeah,
because I can do that. I have the ability to swipe shit off of YouTube.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm stealing people's content, man. But here, give me a second. I will include, since I didn't include it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Because Bill just sent it to me.
Yeah.
I will add this into the chat room. So this is the first link for the. Is that the Tennessee one, Bill? The kid that supposedly got, there was a whole passel of kids in Tennessee. They got sent to the ER because of fentanyl laced vaping. And there was two stories. There's one where a kid was in. This one's okay. That there were two. So there's one of a whole bunch of kids being sent to the ER this week, and there's one of a kid being forced by apparently 8 bullies to vape an illicit THC and fentanyl laced vape, and he had a stroke and went into a coma. There were 2 different ones, and I felt like I didn't want to be too sad tonight because we already talked about 2 people dying. That I did see those stories, but I did not include them in our shenanigans just because it was really sad.
Wow.
Oh, he's saying. Oh, so now he's saying this one's a separate kid than the bullying one. So now there's 3. There's a whole passel of kids in Tennessee that somehow got sick from vaping. The fentanyl kid that had the stroke, and now another kid that apparently was vaping the fentanyl. So what is this?
Okay, so the Victor share screen's active again. Philip, friend of ours, it says the Lung Association falsely claims vaping causes lung damage, which is the left graphic. While Nicorette oral nicotine spray starts to relieve vaping cravings in 30 seconds in the UK. On the right. What group do you think this messaging harms the most? That would be lower income adults who smoke cigarettes. Now, wait, there's more. Because on the right, Nicorette, as I switch screens, Here you can't see it, so I've enlarged it for all of you. Nicorette Quick Mist mouth spray contains nicotine. Stop nicotine vaping aid. Requires willpower. Always read the label. Now, I didn't realize that willpower was not included in some of these products, Patrick, and you never told me that. I don't understand the disclaimer suddenly is there. Why is that?
No, Kevin, we have said that. We have. We never used those exact words, but we said the number one factor that helps people or predicts whether somebody is going to be successful in quitting is actually wanting to. So that would be the willpower portion of it. So yeah, I mean, vaping is not some sort of miracle that's going to work regardless of. I mean, you actually need to want to quit smoking.
That's in
if
that's
not,
in UK, Mallory.
If not, then
I found it amusing. That's UK though.
Actually, no. And MRTP. So Nicorette does not require an MRTP because they are a pharmaceutical drug approved product. So that's a different pathway. They're not considered a tobacco product because they went through the FDA pharmacy pathway for medications. Different pathway. So different rules.
What we chose not to.
Now, Phil. Phil liked my tweet already.
Which one?
The
one you did?
The one I just did. Yeah. Take it.
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah, Phil is already liking my shit.
Here, wait a minute.
I haven't been active on Twitter for a couple days, so I had to bring one in. I don't know exactly what's going on, Kevin, but Eliana has been all over my Twitter.
I thought she was banned. So
No, she's on Twitter. She's going through some of her own things that are not vaping related. And every time I go to Twitter, she's here in New York somewhere. She's in the United States right now, and she's here for like trans stuff, like, and she's going off on somebody. I don't know what's going on.
Okay,
but she's fighting some battles. I like her a lot. So I don't know what the hell's going on, and I don't always have to agree 100% with everything one of our friends says, but I hope whatever it is that she's doing, she's okay.
Right, exactly.
I have to refresh my strawberry lemonade flavored water for a second here. I'm getting parched, Kevin. Parched, I say.
I say hydrate. That's what I say.
So,
hey, you're not any prettier without the camera, by the way, just so you know.
Well, no, I mean, I even got the angry icon up there,
I got the monkey and my grandson.
Let me see if I have a different one that I can throw up here. Let's see.
I'll tell you what, that kid is so funny. He makes me laugh when he gets here till he leaves.
Are you? I hate. I feel really bad for that kid, Kevin.
I know you do.
Because like 60 years from now, he's gonna look just like you.
He already does.
No, but he's gonna look even more like you.
Well, yeah, of course.
There are certain things that are cute in a child, but as they grow older, they no longer are cute.
Oh, don't I know it?
So look at Opie. Opie on Andy Griffin. He was a cute little kid.
Well, sure.
But look at grown up Ron Howard. That guy's goofy looking.
What are you gonna bash Ron Howard for? You stepped into the twilight zone.
This is one of those things, just
just
thought of that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what's this strawberry lemonade crap? Are you attracting children?
Hey, strawberry lemonade is the shit.
Stop it. Stop it.
Frozen strawberry lemonade with a little vodka in it is even better. But
Mm-mm-mm.
I actually do not have a bottle of vodka in this house.
No, I don't either.
I have to remedy that situation. I need to go buy some Grey Goose or something.
The same thing I showed you guys on a show, you and Fig, one night, I don't know, 2 years ago, the Maker's Mark, the Jack Daniels Honey, and I don't even know what the third one is, are still there. And the
Oh
first
no,
beers,
if I turn around, there's at least 20 different bourbons behind me.
That's right, Bill. That's right. Man.
Yeah, but Bill didn't work on the classic Rod Serling Twilight Zone because he's not that old. But he did the revival. He did one of the revival versions of Twilight Zone because I know Bill's not that old. He's not as old as Ed, for example.
No.
Ed's pretty fucking old, but
No. I want to.
Patrick, what am I thinking? Oh, you don't even want to know. You don't even want to know what I'm thinking. I want that tweet to go viral, though. KRTV should know. Every one of you people in this chat room, I know there's only 7 of you right now, or at least 7 that I can see. Y'all, this tweet should have at least 7 retweets right now. Just saying.
Oh, you've got 8 views. What are you whining about?
I don't care if anybody watches
16 views.
I deleted a show last week just because I hurt somebody's feelings. So if I cared about views, I wouldn't have done that. And I apologize. I'll say it now. I apologize for saying things that hurt somebody's feelings. I'm sure I will do it again. It just happens that way. I oftentimes say things that hurt people's feelings. But this particular person, I don't really want to hurt their feelings. So I apologize.
$60 for 150 sprays. Ooh-wee. That might work.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Kingsport schools and police warn of vaping after students sent to hospital. This is another one of those.
Mm-hmm.
This is in London, England, though. So, oh no, Kingsport, Tennessee. This is the right one. So, yes. 20 Kingsport and Sullivan County community leaders have written a letter to parents and students warning of the dangerous consequences of vaping. The letter states in recent months, multiple KCS students have received medical treatment in response to vaping, with some students even needing to be transported to local hospitals for emergency care. Mm-hmm. In recent months, officials with Kingsport City Schools and Kingsport Police Department have seen an alarming increase in the use of vaping devices by children, both in school and in the community. The letter states, often children are unknowingly consuming substances that contain extremely dangerous chemicals, such as THC. And while KCS has not yet dealt directly with fentanyl-laced devices, because there are none, this dangerous synthetic drug is also being found throughout our community. Ingestion of only a small amount of fentanyl can result in fatal overdose. So here's the thing, boys and girls. The whole idea that somebody is going to sell you some sort of knockoff vape cartridge or even an authentic vape cartridge and then go to the expense of putting fentanyl in that vape cartridge is ludicrous, because fentanyl, even black market fentanyl, is not cheap. And why in the heck nobody is going to do that? They're not going to add an expensive ingredient into a product that people aren't asking for. It's stupid. It is a ludicrous idea that not that I've ever been a drug dealer, Kevin. But I guarantee you I would never have been a successful drug dealer if I was including expensive items in a cheap product it just, people are not adding an expensive ingredient to a cheap product. It's just not. It's stupid.
It's not going to happen.
Regardless of whether or not it's efficacious in its delivery.
Yep.
We showed video months and months ago from an expert who said our lab says there's no way for fentanyl to actually be delivered via this technology.
Not that mix.
Not possible. So, and then we showed you a story from our friend Cameron English, where he went into the history of this myth and showed how the two items were slowly but surely equated to each other over time, just from misreporting or a story about vaping, including possibly kids also doing fentanyl or illicit drugs, somehow got reported as somebody was vaping an illicit drug.
Of course. It's
but
all in the wording.
Now these idiots in the school, I mean, I'm not saying that all teachers, I've already been on a teacher bashing tour this last couple of episodes. Not all teachers are evil, but they are all stupid.
Yes.
Those that can't succeed in other areas become teachers. I'm sorry. I hate to say it that way, but no, the best mathematicians do not become school teachers. It's the best scientists do not become chemistry teachers. These are bottom of the barrel. I'm sorry. I hate to say it that way because I loved my teachers, some of my teachers, but they were not geniuses. And educators are totally fucking these kids up because kids are going to think that they can find that elusive fentanyl vape and go out there and then they're going to be sold a bill of goods that's going to be even worse.
Yeah.
Both the school system and Kingsport Police Department are encouraging families to discuss the dangers of vaping and consuming chemicals such as THC, fentanyl, and other substances. At least they included that and.
Right. All inclusive.
Yeah. So then they include an actual copy of it. So this is the one that I was talking about, or one of the ones about Tennessee that I was talking about when Bill was talking about.
Right.
I feel like we talk about kids being damaged so much on this show that sometimes I can't talk about another story about kids because these kids today, they're being spied on in the bathroom, they're being tased, they're being beaten up. It's just, it's just so bad over and over. Skip has a thread on Twitter. I have a thread on Twitter showing all of these fucking victimizations. I mean, between the two of us, we've got a pretty good collection of these stories about kids being just abused mentally and physically over something that's not important. I mean, yes, it is important, but they're doing more damage. They're doing more damage than good, Kevin.
In the scale of things, this is like a 0 or a 1 compared to all the other things going on.
If they really want to care about kids, they should figure out why so many kids today have mental health problems. I mean, it is. I mean, I'm sure there's always been kids with mental health problems. I'm not saying that this is brand new, but the massive numbers that we're seeing today.
Well, they've added that with the pandemic and the shutdowns and all that. So,
Oh yeah, I mean, but they need to figure out why these kids are all fucked up. I mean, seriously,
they were before the pandemic. They're just adding to that. That's all.
But speaking of child abuse, Kevin, you'll love this one.
Wait a minute.
Love this one. This is from the what?
My son just sent me a message. Please make sure I shut the garage door. I mean, shut. Autocorrect.
That would be uncomfortable. So this one. Teacher's horror as boy 4 brings a vape to school that mom gave him to keep him happy.
Jesus. Oh my goodness.
The 4-year-old primary school pupil was allegedly seen using a vape pen on the playground, with the teacher left stunned when his mom told she bought it to make him happy.
Right.
A 4-year-old child was given the e-cigarette by his mom to keep him happy, it has been claimed. The young boy was allegedly seen puffing clouds of smoke in the playground before a teacher confiscation rang Wednesday afternoon. The caller claimed that his partner, who is head of the years at an unknown primary school, spotted the reception pupil inhaling from it during playtime and took it off him. But when she brought up the incident to the boy's mother after school, the teacher was allegedly stunned to hear she bought the e-cigarette herself because she thought it would make him happy. Why is that popping up? Yeah. And then there's the story about, oh no. This is, I hate these stories that like regurgitate the same paragraph a couple times throughout.
It's like the Inquirer.
So yes, and Bill is right. Bill is putting some context and also take this with a grain of salt sort of information that yes, it is entirely based on a call-in show and no one has actually confirmed it. But still, it is being reported, and the Mirror is not a small news outlet in Europe, in the UK. So yeah. Obviously, she confiscated it, went to chat with the parent who said she thought it would be, or who she thought would be quite shocked to find out he got a hold of it. And the mom said, "Oh no, I bought it for him. I thought it would keep him happy." Yeah, you've got to laugh, haven't you? It's absolutely shocking. She just thought it would be a sweet thing. Yeah. Horrified, Tom responded to the story by questioning how stupid a parent could be to give a nicotine device, which is illegal to sell to anyone under the age of 18, to a small child. The radio presenter responded, a 4-year-old child had a vape, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, it's like, So, yeah, even if it's not true, which I don't think it's true, but if it is not true, it's still being reported and it's being reshared in multiple areas.
Regurgitated.
And spread around. It is, regardless of whether it's true, still being published and reported and talked about.
Idiotic.
All right. Yeah. So just like every other anti-vaping article that we always discuss, again, we cannot confirm because the science is always flawed, or it's based on ideology and not information.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's go to some video content, Kevin.
Oh boy.
Let me find the correct folder for tonight's show, because I save all this shit. I save every one of these videos for later, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
I have an entire collection of nonsense, and it's taking up space on my. But yeah, let's watch this. We've already talked about this.
Vaping has become a dangerous trend in Idaho youth.
Open News 8's Kaylee Galloway shows us how organizations came together last night to help children and teens understand the risks of vaping.
I remember going to a 3rd and 4th grade class, and I asked how many of you know what vaping is. Almost all the hands went up. And I says, how many of you know?
Okay, so he says, I asked 3rd and 4th graders, how many of you know what vaping is? And he said most of them hold their hands up. So there's nothing wrong with kids knowing what vape is. We should be educating these children about what it is. We should also let them know you can't have it. It's not for you. This is for people who are dying from cigarettes, and we want to save their lives. So anyway,
know somebody who vapes. Almost all the hands went up. And that's what scares me.
Eastern Idaho Public Health released some staggering statistics. 1 in 5 Idaho kids are vaping, and 1 in 3 Idaho high school seniors are vaping regularly.
It's frustrating and sad to see kids engaging in this.
I have preached to them forever. If you never start, you never have to stop. So don't do it. It's not good. It's not healthy. And then I found out that...
Just don't do it, Kevin. Just say no.
Oh, Nancy. Oh.
That worked so well.
Both him and my older son were both vaping. It was very disappointing.
EIPH is hoping to educate on the dangers of vaping. On Tuesday night, they hosted a free community event in hopes to show children, teens, and community members that regardless of the popular belief that it is safer than smoking, nothing could be farther from the truth.
So now they're saying that it is not safer than smoking.
Vaping 1 Juul pod can be like smoking an entire pack of cigarettes.
Now, you see what they did there, Kevin? Vaping a Juul pod, vaping a Juul pod is just is the same as smoking an entire pack of cigarettes. Now, do they include the fact that that entire pack of cigarettes no longer has the plethora of harmful chemicals that are normally in a cigarette? So yes, it might be a Juul pod could be equivalent to the same amount of nicotine, could replace the consumption of a full pack of cigarettes, but it does not have none of the bad shit.
You just said the word that I like to use is that it replaces those cigarettes. It doesn't equal anything.
No.
So they can all fuck off.
And
but they don't have a direct.
This is the type of nonsense that widely gets shared, that widely gets consumed by the normal Joes that are neither vapors nor smokers, or even some of them that are smokers that won't quit, that will choose to keep smoking because they see this and they say, oh, that's the same as a pack of cigarettes, so I might as well just have a pack of cigarettes. So I don't know what a Juul pod costs, but does a Juul pod cost more or less the same as a pack of cigarettes? I don't know. I haven't bought one.
Right, it's been a while.
But it might be cheaper to buy the pack of cigarettes than the Juul pod. I don't know.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Look at me. I'm 19 years old. I went 6 months having to rely on my mom and my girlfriend to drive me around everywhere because I started vaping. I had a seizure. I lost my driver's license.
So what was he vaping that gave him a fucking seizure?
Well, it could have been nothing, Patrick.
Well, he could have been born with some sort of seizure disorder. That's true. But like he said he had a seizure. I mean,
right.
There might be something wrong with that child. You might need to go see a neurologist to see why he had a seizure. He might have epilepsy and you don't know it.
Stuck having seizures probably the rest of my life.
The event premiered the Nic Sick Documentary featuring local teens like Brogan Uscola, who will suffer from the consequences of vaping his entire life. Following the documentary was a panel discussion moderated by our very own Todd Coons. It was all geared to help children and teens choose to say no to vape.
It's really concerning because it's taking our kids away from learning, having fun. They're then strapped with this addiction. And, addiction is a brain disease, and that's not something we want our kids to be.
Why do you put me through this shit every week?
Let's go back here. Let's
fucking word.
Let's listen to Heather Pleen again.
It's really concerning because it's taking our kids away from learning, having fun. They're then strapped with this addiction, and addiction.
Okay. Kevin, if you vape, how is that?
Mhm.
How is that taking you away from having fun?
I don't know. I would have to ask Logan because I still have fun.
And I mean, at your age, it might be hard for you to learn, but she said it's also taking them away from learning.
Well, I've learned a lot more about dumbasses like her in the past few years.
Again, we've talked about the fact that if these kids are disappearing out of the classroom for really long periods of time, shouldn't the teachers like obviously start questioning why little Dylan is leaving the classroom for 30 minutes at a time and going and clouding up the bathroom?
I'm still curious about my four-letter word you hate, that the access to these things are the problem, not the things. Period.
Yeah. All right, let's keep
but
going.
Nobody cares.
She's gonna say addiction is a brain disease again. I just want to
brain disease.
Addiction is a brain disease, and that's not something we want our kids to be faced with.
Educate yourself and don't even start. Make that decision never to start, because with this, it's almost too late when you start.
Reporting in Idaho Falls, I'm Kaylee Galaviz.
It's almost too late once you start, he says.
Patrick, you know I'm not going to be the smartest guy you've ever met, and I don't try to pretend I am. Michael makes a very serious point. If you'd like to highlight his comment,
the most recent one, this one,
yes, sir.
I've read more scientific papers since I started vaping than before I vaped. So he's actually accentuated his learning by increasing the amount of information that he's studying.
As have I. When I did my cute little nobody really cared, the nicotine challenge, which is still available and still uncontested, I learned more about nicotine before the film came out, way more, that I never even thought I knew. I never even thought I could know. And I can literally state Michael's exact words. I've read more scientific papers since I started vaping than I ever did, ever in my life. And I still don't understand them, but I have connections through this community that I love and adore that will say, geez, Kevin, are you sure you understand this? Because I oftentimes do not. But
Skip says that vaping advocacy has turned her into a nicotine nerd.
Yes.
She, her and Richard Pruitt and a bunch of other people, they have a website.
Oh my gosh.
Safer Wiki.
Oh my goodness.
That they've put together.
They've put together something that the anti-tobacco community should have had together 30 years ago.
And I actually went and created a T-shirt for the nicotine nerds.
Yeah.
And nobody has bought any.
It stuns me how much more knowledge I have because of not smoking. I really never thought my life path would go the way it's gone, and I have to put up with your dumbass every week. Really. But I enjoy it. I think
so sad, Kevin. It's so sad.
So there's the link right there. If you've never been, go. You may not come back, but go.
Yeah, I mean,
goodness gracious. Why does the other side not have it? Because they don't want you to know stuff.
No,
that's why.
But see, I went to all the trouble of creating a wonderful T-shirt.
Yep, nicotine nerds.
And here it is. There's the design, the nicotine nerd T-shirt.
You have one.
I do, and it's only $16.99.
You've worn it. I know you have.
And it comes in like 11 different colors. You could choose your own damn color.
Post a link into your online store, Patrick.
See there, I'll copy it right there. That's a direct link to the nicotine nerd T-shirt.
Yeah. What I also learned,
but look, it even comes in pink. And if you don't like that pink, I included a different pink. You can get it in purple.
I also learned, Michael,
Well, it actually doesn't look too bad in that deep red. Actually,
That looks good. It's too much tobacco-free kids color to me, but that's all right. That's good. That's good. That's all right.
See,
To elaborate with,
I think in black it looks really awesome. This is the one I have.
Yeah.
But since she brought up Nicotine Nerd, I feel like I would promote my t-shirts. But
yep. Now, Michael, if you want to just say yes or no or don't matter, to elaborate on reading these papers, if you take the words nicotine, smoking, those words, and you change them to any other thing, you have probably seen extremely similar wording for any other subject that they don't like. Doesn't matter. Alcohol, drugs, doesn't matter. They just copy paste and they change keywords into the same shit, even in some of, and a lot of actually, the crap studies. But that's just me. I've noticed it, all in the wording.
If they offered a tie-dye shirt option, I would definitely add one. Dale, but there's not an option.
I think I know who Dale is.
I think Dale was here last week.
Yeah. It's prohibition of script. There you go. I like that. There is a word for it now. Good. So yeah, I'm not saying I'm smarter. I'm just saying I've read a lot. I have read more in the past 10 years than I've read in the past 40. And I love to read.
I'm surprised that you can read it all, to tell you the truth.
Well, sometimes it's hooked on phonics.
I mean, you did start smoking when you were like 3, so I mean, your brain is probably damaged. But here, look at this. I got another video for you, Kevin.
Tackling vaping head on. These toilet blocks have perforated screens so students outside the cubicles can't vape without.
So do you see what they did there?
Is that? Oh my friggin' word!
You're in the toilet now. They have doors on the toilets, actually. So
I don't care.
I mean, that's pretty awful that they have to go to the. They put in these screened windows, so people can see who's in the bathroom.
Oh my god!
I mean, maybe you need some privacy for something else. But here, let's keep going.
Schools can't vape without being seen. Pacific Pines State High School on the Gold Coast has spent more than $500,000 on a crackdown.
What young people are telling me is that they can buy them online. They potentially can get hold of them under the counter.
When students are caught, they are referred to the school nurse and their families brought in for counselling. After that, they could be suspended.
We've seen a dramatic decrease in vaping in our school in the order of 65%.
Across Queensland, there has been a sharp rise in school incidents involving drugs, alcohol, cigarettes and vaping. The number of students being suspended from these incidents has jumped dramatically over the past 5 years. In 2017, just over 3,000 children were disciplined. By last year, that had increased to more than 8,500.
So 8,654 kids have been caught vaping in This is Queensland. So this is what, New South Wales? Is that what is that the province or the area of 8,654 kids this year or last year during a pandemic.
Wow.
And in Australia and New Zealand, I think both of those countries pretty much locked their shit down for like ever, right?
Yep.
And still 8,654 kids, somehow they got punished in some way, shape, or form for vaping at school.
It's funny they can watch them and catch them.
And this
vaping,
is a country. This is a
catch
country
them purchasing.
supposedly where you have to have a prescription, right?
Yep.
But that prescription model created what, Kevin?
Black market.
Massive
ding, ding, ding.
black market. Massive
Ding,
black
ding, ding.
market. So if they hadn't done that, if they had pushed some sort of maybe educational program, maybe said, hey, let's talk about tobacco harm reduction. Let's talk about. No, they made it as restrictive as possible and forced people into a situation where they are now a criminal.
Correct.
So, yeah.
5,000.
Vaping is becoming an issue for our students in our schools and something that our teachers and school leaders have to deal with on a daily basis.
National data shows poisoning from e-cigarettes has substantially risen over the past 5 years, with 20% of calls to hotlines involving children and adolescents. The federal government will act on any advice from the Therapeutic Goods Administration to combat the problem.
At the moment we're losing the battle, I fear, and it's not just high school students, it's primary school students as well.
The TGA is now considering 4,000 public submissions and will make recommendations for vaping reform. Antonia O'Flaherty, ABC News.
So they can catch them vaping, but they can't catch them purchasing. How does that work?
Well, apparently they,
it's a rhetorical question.
They're more attentive. Obviously they want to spy on them while they're in the pooper, so they they put up those screens so that people can look in while they're pooping. Kevin, I don't know if you know this or not, but teenage boys can be quite interested in the undercarriage of girls.
Yeah.
So how many boys are going to stand outside of those screens and wait for girls to go into the bathroom just so they can see what color their panties are?
Right.
I mean, I was a teenage boy. That would have excited me.
Oh.
As a teenage boy, any sort of like glimpse at intimate apparel of a girl so they're essentially sexualized. They're making it more tempting for the boys to peek into the girls' restroom. Or hey, there could be some girls out there that are forward enough that they could be peeking in on the boys. You never know. Or other boys peeking on boys or other girls peeking on girls. I mean, we're pretty progressive here about certain things. And, that is quite possible.
Speaking of Safer Nicotine Wiki, did you see Skip's link?
I can't click on links in the chat room, Kevin. You know that.
Well, no, I copy and paste. All right, hold on.
I can't. No, because if I click on it, it shows up on the screen. I can't.
Hold on, let me get my Victor.
I can't click on it to highlight it because if I click on it, it just pops up on the screen.
Just a
See, look,
moment.
I'll give you an example. Boom. There.
Well, I'm not there. I'm over here.
See.
Hold on. I gotta rub it and make it bigger so you don't bitch. Oh, that's a damn good tweet. Let me see. Here we go. All right. Share. Victor, share screen. Bam. See, I can't see you and it at the same time. There we go. All right. So, Safer Nicotine Wiki says it shouldn't be easier to smoke than vape. See the hashtags, kids. For those who can't or won't quit smoking tobacco harm reduction products can reduce morbidity and mortality from smoking. Kick Butt's Not a Joke. Take Down Tobacco. COP10. Vape Roll. And Dr. Buchanan said it really should be perfectly okay for people to vape because they enjoy the experience, period. And then it's perfectly okay for people to eat fast food every day because they enjoy the experience, except for when you're in New York City with Bloomberg and Frieden. What's the difference? Your body, your choice. I like that. I really do. Excellent example of personal choice, period.
Yeah. Well, Bill, I don't think you were here for the past couple shows where I, because he's saying Australia's Dr. Freeman has made claims that. So we've noticed. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but Kevin, I did, and then I've actually buried Kevin's nose in it a couple times. A lot of our prohibitionist anti-vapor people are gingers, and Dr. Freeman is indeed a ginger. So we don't listen to anything that gingers say because they're all soulless creepers.
That's right.
Soulless creepers. But okay, so that tweet that you just showed had a hashtag on there. It said #Vapril, Kevin.
Yes, been a while, been a year.
Well, they're doing Vapril this year again.
Yeah.
So I actually prepared a video, or I stole a video. So let's show that so that we can, because this month, since this new month, it starts tomorrow, will indeed be the first day of Vapril, and we should be doing everything possible to promote vaping to smokers and people that we don't want to die. So here's a video.
I started vaping 8 years ago, and it has changed my life through the fact it's probably healthier than smoking, and it doesn't smell as bad as smoking. I've given up.
So that is quite loud, but I can't change. I guess I could see, maybe if I do this, it'll change the volume a little bit. But he says that he's vaping because it tastes better and he doesn't smell as bad. Not even, and it's probably safer than smoking, is what he said. So, I mean, yeah.
Stop smoking cigarettes completely and only vape. Vaping has worked for me.
I've been smoking for 15 years, and I started vaping 5 years ago, and it's been great. I think I'm a bit healthier, my breath smells better, and I think it's making me feel better. Vaping has helped me cut down on smoking a lot. I've literally never bought cigarettes again since I started vaping. I only, take a few from friends, and I don't buy cigarettes or rollies anymore. Vaping has worked for me.
I've been vaping now for about 2 years, and I found that it's benefited me quite a lot, cost-wise as well. There's a massive beneficial and financial benefits of vaping. You always find there's this draw to go back, and you need to understand that with distractions of flavors and so many different varieties, you've got to open your horizon to really accept that you're going to be so much better off. Vaping has worked for me.
I started smoking in, I'd say, 2007, 2008, so a good 15 years ago. I've spent the last 3 years mostly off the cigarettes. I buy disposable vapes, I buy the refills, and I haven't really looked back. I'm very close to giving up tobacco. I've weaned myself right down to the point where I now only smoke a few cigarettes a week. Mostly if I'm down the pub with friends and they have it, I try not to carry tobacco on myself, which just sort of avoids the temptation, but I've always got my vape on me. Vaping has worked for me, definitely.
Do you know what I like about that, Patrick? Would you like my list?
Well, yes, go ahead.
It's clear, concise, period. The message is absolutely clear. There's no props. It looks as if they purposely blurred the background. I don't know if that was focus or
they did fuzz the background.
And
so it was in there. It was in eVapos. That's a chain, I think, in the UK.
Okay,
it was in their vape shops, but they did blur out their background. They did throw their logo at the beginning and at the end. That I don't care.
There's no clouds. There's no stupidity.
Yeah, I think really. I mean,
wow.
In addition to all of the other things, whether you're doing the old farts vaping or the other Twitter thing, I think every one of us has a camera phone, right? Most of us. Yep. I mean, I'm pretty sure. To sit and to give like a 1 minute long thing. Hey, I've been vaping this long. I can tell it has improved my health in these ways, shapes, or forms. And I don't want to go back to smoking, excuse me, and at the end they say vaping has worked for me. Every one of those people, that was the last thing they said, and vaping has worked for me.
Yep.
And post it on Twitter. Just make a little short video and throw it on Twitter and throw the hashtag vape roll.
What happens when you do that sometimes is if the leader in the follower video, I'm sure you're familiar with, or we've discussed it. It doesn't matter how you do it exactly. Whether, even if it's a picture, if you don't want to do video, but video is a little more compelling. But if you do it and somebody says, well, hell, I'll do it, then everybody does it on their own, in their own way.
We have proven that we can wrangle. Obviously it's been a hot minute since we did the Florida video. But we literally had hundreds of people show up in a Zoom chat room to throw themselves on screen and to say veto Bill SB, whatever it was. I can't remember now. We can get people to do shit. It's just that, our outlets have changed so dramatically in the last just 2 years. Our options are thinning, but having each and every one of the people here, and you put it on your Twitter and do the hashtag vape roll, and other people will see your video and go, I can do that too. Let's do that. I can do it.
I can do it better.
Yeah. I might do one sitting here in front of my computer instead of and make it all productive and throw in some music, but still, we could do shit. We could do this. And obviously we're not in the UK. This is probably a thing that's pushed by one company or one group or whatever. We can we like to hijack shit.
Oh yeah, of course.
Stoptober is not an American thing, and we could have done that shit here too, but nobody has ever just really said, get off your ass and grab your camera phone, get your TikTok or whatever. I don't do TikTok. You're grown up adult people. Use an adult application, but still. I invite everybody to do like a little video like that, or to post a tweet and just put a picture of yourself. You don't, Kevin's right. You don't need to be vaping while you're doing it. You don't need to hold up a product while you do it. Just give your story. Say, my name is, I've been vaping for, vaping has improved my lung function. I can run better. I don't smell anymore. Whatever it is that you want to say. And say, I don't want to go back to smoking, and vaping has worked for me. That simple. But people are so busy they can't take a 1 minute break to do it. I know. I'm asking a lot. But maybe tomorrow I'll do that. My wife is working, so I actually have the house to myself. I can actually do stuff without getting handed a honeydew list. Yep. What is this?
I'm gonna be so bold as to use the Victor share screen again. See if we crash.
No, it's as long as you're not sharing your camera, it's working.
It seems.
Yeah.
Now I highlighted above this, but that's not the point. She took the old farts vaping. Charlie did that quite some time ago, or somebody did. I think Charlie.
Yeah, and what's his name? Bernie and Mark. They actually did a new tweet with old farts vaping last week too.
Yeah, revived it. So I don't remember the credit exactly, but I think it was Charlie. Anyway, this young lady, I don't know her name offhand. Old farts vaping. They told me I would not be alive at my age now if I didn't stop smoking. The problem was no one told me a better way to quit other than NRT. Those didn't help me. My vape ended a 43-year smoking line. Every day is a bonus day now. No sign of smoke. I'm not saying she will, but she is an example of what you can do. Short, sweet, to the point. I'm not sure if she has. I think she does. Yeah, she does. She has a vape, but she's taking a picture and doing her thing.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm not saying you don't you shouldn't have that in your hand. I'm saying
Right,
that
but you know, I said you don't have to, and it's probably best not to be blowing a cloud while you do it too. Yeah. But I mean, we've been doing these. I mean, as a community, as a group, as you know, because the community word does drive me crazy sometimes. But excuse me, people in vaping have been pushing these video things for a very long time.
Oh, way before me.
I mean, I'm Proof, which was a very big and expensive video program, a series of videos.
Say her name, Karen
Palumbo.
Okay, thank you.
So Karen Palumbo was a very dear woman, a very good friend of us. I spent a long time online with her. I met her at multiple she came to Vegas twice at 2 different events that I was at in Vegas. Wonderful old lady. She was in her 80s, possibly. She was on oxygen. She drove around on a scooter at the events. Lovely lady. She was the very first of the I'm Proof videos. Now, there used to be a really wonderful vape shop in Carson, California, that is no longer there. And they were the ones that bankrolled these really high produced segments, these videos. And I wish we had access to them, but we no longer have access to them. Right. But she passed away. She's passed away since that. She was the very first one, though. And it was a wonderful video. And she was talking about having end-stage COPD, very much like our friend up in Nova Scotia.
Ray.
Ray Yeats. And, you know, having these stories of people that smoked for 50 years that are, you know, it's just awful, you know. And if, like that lady said, each day is an extra day, then we should be celebrating the fact that these people that were supposed to be dead aren't dead.
Yep. That's literally, Patrick. I still can remember our conversation, you, Patrick, and Fig, of course, and myself before I came on. I think I'd been on once or twice, but to become a third, to become a third wheel. And those are the people.
You're just another spoke in the wheel.
Well,
you're not a third wheel. Third wheel is negative connotations.
I always have said generally that I'm fighting for people like who I just showed on screen, or Skip, or the business owners, and you know who you are, with my voice and my thoughts and my opinions. And sometimes I do go far. I don't care. Really, it doesn't matter. How far is too far, right? So the general idea of the video, and I've done, I think, 2 or 3. I don't have them on my computer. I gave one to you, or did one with you guys for the Florida thing. And I probably should do another one, but it doesn't matter what your passion is or how you, like Steve said, can I say F the FDA? I find that amusing, but I don't know if it would be appropriate. But
I mean, they've actually used that as criticism for why they don't take us seriously.
Right. But I understand that sentiment and frustration. Believe me, I do. So I'm just short of that all the time, I think, on Twitter, and I always really have been. And I've had a couple people say, "Hey, you're a little over the line." Yeah, tell me where over the line is when you're, strip searching children. So that's where I'm at. So if your individual thoughts, if you write them down, stick the camera in front of you, do your thing, paste it on the wall next to you, whatever you got to do. Some people don't like cameras. I don't have a face for TV anyway, but I don't care, So there's some, reservations people may have, but if someone does it, someone else may do it. That's all.
I
love them. I love them. Every freaking one of them. I love every minute of every one of them.
Yeah. So when Vape Rev did the I'm proof, they actually put out a press release. The press release is actually still there, but the actual YouTube stuff, I believe, is gone. Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
I just clicked on the link for it, and Karen was, like I said, she was a wonderful woman, and her name was Karen.
Yeah.
So not all Karens are evil,
right?
But yeah, none of that stuff exists anymore. When VapeRev separated, when the one guy has control of all of that content, and when I spoke to him, he said, I have thousands, I have all this information. Oh my God.
Yeah. You found it?
I found it.
I figured you were searching, but
didn't you hear me clicking over here? Click, click, click.
Yeah,
click.
that's what I figured you were doing.
It's on Vimeo, obviously.
Ah.
Yeah. Now I have to go and share a screen and make sure that I click share audio. So this lovely lady is Karen,
awesome.
the beautiful Karen, and I hope VapeRev doesn't hit me with a copyright strike.
Hope not.
I started smoking when I was 14 years old, sneaking my mother's. By the time I was 16, I was buying them and I was smoking a pack a day, sometimes more. I smoked for 55 years. And the last 20 years of that, I was smoking 2 cartons a week. I grew up in Illinois, and it was the 50s, and my mom smoked, and my aunts and uncles smoked, and all my kids, the kids I went to school with, smoked. Everybody smoked. It was just a thing. My mother, she had nice legs, my mom. I think I was probably 10, and I was a little there. We were still living at Grandma and Grandpa's. I quit half a dozen times in that 55 years. Most of them were from 35 on. Before 35, I never even thought about quitting. I was going through 2 cartons a week, every week. The last time I tried to quit before I decided I was never going to quit again was when my mother died. I watched my mother die of emphysema 3 days before she was 70 years old. I am 73. It was a long, long ride. And I just decided I was going to keep them to remind myself how stupid I was for how many years at $300 a month. And they don't even smell like cigarettes anymore. It's hard as a rock. I'm literally hard as a rock. That tobacco is solid in there. You got to wonder what they put in that stuff if it no longer is leaf. I started smoking these without filters when I was 14 years old. When you quit smoking and you find out there is life after cigarettes, it's nice to vape things like Oreo cookies and cheesecake and strawberry waffles because then I don't eat it. I actually lost weight when I started vaping, which is just really hysterical. People like me. I don't stink anymore. My car doesn't stink anymore. I feel really good. My blood oxygen level is up to 99%. My chest x-ray this last April was clear as a bell. I haven't had a sinus infection since I quit smoking. There's so much.
I'm pausing here just so that I can love this old hardware, these drip shields that she's holding up. That was Empire Mods hardware. That's not cheap stuff there.
Man.
That that you need to learn. And it's not hard to learn, you just need somebody to help. And I had nobody to help, so I barged through all this stuff myself, did all the research.
Look at that cardo tank. Look at
Did
that
you hear-
cardo tank.
Did you hear what she said? I did my own research.
My
God.
Oh, man. These were the days, man.
Jesus. It reminds me of my girl. She is my girl, Marilyn, who turns out it's I think it's Deanna's mother, Deanna Marshall's mom.
Mhm.
Those videos and this video, those type of videos, the older crowd, Ed and older, of course, these are what entice me to watch and listen and learn, especially when it's older like this is. And I'm grateful for you to find this, because I never saw this, so I'm very thankful that you did.
Tried this, tried that, till I found something that worked for me. You find what works for you, and you stay with that. Look at me. I'm 73 years old, and I smoked for 55 years, and I did it.
That was a GG she just held up. I have 2 of those.
I will never smoke another cigarette. I know that. I don't have to. I don't need it. I don't want it. I have to do this. I have to do what I have to do, and I don't have to make a difference for me. I have to make a difference for other people. My name is Karen Lee, and I'm proof.
Man, were they so on the right path.
It's disturbing to me. I mean, I know that he had hard drives full of this stuff, like these videos, and we don't have. I had to. I'm gonna see if I can actually.
So,
Uh-oh.
Can you educate me a little and explain to me why this did not take off? Because this, to me, would have changed my mind if I was still smoking cigarettes, to go, she's like my grandma. I wonder if I could try this.
Hey, Kevin, I just downloaded it.
I'm not staying up all night with you, Patrick. I don't care how much you sweet talk in my ear.
Oh, dear Lord.
Nope. I'll watch the replay before I listen to you all damn night, even if I love it. Because
I just downloaded it.
So why? Do tell. Why did the industry not continue with this? What was the problem?
Well, it wasn't it was the guys at Vape Rev. This was 9 years ago, Kevin. This video that video is 9 years old.
And it's from another country, so I never saw it.
No, it's not. It's from California. I don't know
it
what
doesn't
other
matter.
country. It's from California.
Yeah.
But it was the guys at Vape Rev.
Mal.
Now, Vape Rev was a huge fucking back in the day. Like I ordered shit from Vape Rev because that was the only place. Like that's the first time I bought candied Cavendish from the Plume Room was from Vape Rev.
Okay.
Because the Plume Room with that Vape Rev actually sold the Plume Room's liquids. That was before I bought them directly from the Plume Room. But I called on I called them on the phone to buy a roller, which is a very expensive mod.
Okay.
And while I was on the phone with the guy, I asked him for some suggestions, and candied Cavendish was one of the flavors that he suggested, and I bought a bottle. But they would do, I mean, they were a high end. They didn't have a lot of high end product at their store, and they had I'm looking at a video. They have a video on their Vimeo because I'm going through their Vimeo right now, doing a flavor profile for banana mint milkshake from the Plume Room.
There you go.
And they talk to you. They talk to me on the phone. Hey, well, what kind of stuff do you like? Oh, well, you'll probably like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, sell me a bottle. Throw it in the box with my roller.
You're correct, Dale. You are correct.
So those types of ads, though, they costed money.
Yeah.
And at the time, 9 years ago, that was difficult to get people to drop money, because I mean, these guys, they had money. They were selling mods for like $900.
Wow.
I mean, they had some high end shit over there, and they had, you know, they were the vape shop in California that started guys like Lonnie Bozeman and the Standard. Like, they were the first people to buy a lot of these big companies. Their first batches of e-liquid were sold to Vape Rev. Five Ponds was one of the. These were the first guys to sell five Ponds, I believe. I'd have to go back and find my interview with the Five Ponds guys when I did the magazine, but I'm pretty sure that they said in that interview that they were, you know, mixing their first batches of stuff, and, you know, personally delivering it to the Plume Room back in the day. Wow. So, yeah, there were a handful of those videos. I can't find any more that on their Vimeo, but I'm surprised that it's still there. But yeah, that video is from like 2013. No, 2014.
That's
so
just before my time, really. I went behind the ears at that moment.
But yeah, I mean, you could see they paid for like production. They had a music, you know, in their video, and you know, that stuff costs money, and I think a lot of people at the time thought that they were going to be able to do this whole vaping advocacy thing for cheap.
Yeah.
So they didn't, you know, it didn't survive. But yes, if we had, you know, if we had all that time,
right?
If we had all that time back, and in 2014 we had embraced this type of stuff, these videos, these personal messages, and we had literally a library of thousands of these videos over the 9 years. If they had been able to keep it up for 9 years, we'd have all these beautiful ads and testimonials. Obviously, we don't have that now. So what we have is a cell phone testimonial for Vaporil, you know?
Yep.
But if I wouldn't get my ass in trouble, I would repost that shit.
Yeah.
All over the place. But I'm, you know,
yep.
I don't know if somebody would get butthurt that I stole their video and retweeted it.
I hope not, but permission is always best, you know.
Yeah. I mean, because somebody still owns it. I don't own it.
Right.
I just, you know, they could literally copyright strike me for playing it right now, but I don't know that they would. But I just say, Troop, call your friends and you know, see if they'll. Do you still have their number?
I really, I don't know how to express that. I am thankful that I got to see Karen. I never did, except I think there was a picture at a show somewhere, and I think she was in a wheelchair. If I'm even thinking of the right photo,
there's probably a picture. I know that there's a picture of her at the Vaping Militia booth.
That may be what it is. Maybe the wheelchair's a thought in my head.
She was in a power scooter sort of thing.
Okay, it has to be the same one then. But you know of some people in our past, Ray included, and it's good that we repeat their names. That's all. You know, Agent Anya, Ray, Karen. She's part of our history. You know.
Yeah. Make it sound so old.
Well,
but I mean, that's 9 years ago. I mean, I didn't even think it had been that long, but 9 years.
But it changed her path, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, Bill. Yes. Nobody jumped for that either, did
Yeah,
they?
I mean, it's always. I mean, I hate to sound like a fucking broken record, but every time,
Yep,
it comes down to
every
money.
time.
Every time it comes down to money, and you know we beg, you know, and I think there was a period of time where I think people just got burnt out because they were scammed so many times.
Yes.
By people holding out their hand that they
Yeah.
just started slapping the hand. Like,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
we're not doing this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the money just disappeared because there were people out there that were scammers.
Yep.
I mean,
exactly.
I can remember I was at a vape. This was back in the vaping militia days. And somebody came up to me at the booth and was like, "Hey, give me a shirt." And I'm like, "No, I mean, we use this money for advocacy. You know, I can sell you a shirt, but I just can't." Well, don't you know who I am?
Right.
And I'm like, "Should I know who you are?" And they're like, "I'm a YouTube person." And I'm like, "I don't care. I mean, I don't know who you are." I said, "If Grim Green walked up to me and I know who he is, and I would charge him for a fucking shirt." I mean,
I want some tags.
Mine are right here on my microphone.
I want my
I have
tags.
2 whole sets. I have a set from when I was a paid member, and then I have a set from when I got elected or chosen to be on the board. So I have 2 sets.
It's like my Billion Lives cap I don't have. I got the beanie, but I didn't get the hat, and then they ran out. And about a month before the militia shut down, I was going to order them, and I was waiting on that next month, type thing. And then I couldn't get them. I was so sad. But, it's all right.
Well, yeah, that shit happens.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through the Vaping Militia group, looking at all the pictures to see if I can find the picture from Fiamma. I haven't been able to find any of the pictures from that vaping that event in Vegas, but I know it's in here somewhere.
You know what?
It's not in chronological order anymore, so it's hard to figure it out. It's in here somewhere. But yes, Karen was a wonderful friend, and it sucked. Yes. Like when they said she had passed away, that really sucked. One of the other vaping militia guys, they called him the vaping trucker. Like, he was really close with her, and he called crying when she passed away.
Oh.
That was a fucking painful thing.
Yeah.
But we, like I said, she was supposed to have died years ago or years before she did, and she was able to hang around for longer, and that every one of those days she was supposed to be in the dirt, that she wasn't in the dirt, is an extra day. So it sucks, but what it is we can't change everything. We can't change the world, but we can sure as hell try.
Yep.
Scream until we win.
I
have no doubt I ain't going anywhere. We might have to streamline things, and we might have to cut corners and cut expenses, but we're going to be here until we get that trophy, until we get that thing that we wanted, the victory that we should have had. But it's going to take more than just you and me and Troop and Bill and Raj and Dale and Mallory. We're going to have to get more people. Steve and Skip are here as well, but
we're not the people in the room, and you and I aren't saying, "Don't you know who we are?" because we don't care.
No, nobody knows who the fuck I am, and I like it that way. But we have to. There's going to be this one thing. There's going to be this one thing, that this idea, like I'm proof. Somebody's going to come up with an idea, whether it's a video idea, whether and they're going to put it on the social medias, and it's actually going to get traction. And it's one of these days, one of us is going to come across just whatever the right mix is.
Right. Yeah.
And it's going to catch fire. So we need to keep trying as many things as possible. Now, trying the same thing over and over and over again is also kind of pointless, but we need to try as many new things as we can.
Yeah.
And if that means that we're going to, we've never really tried vape roll in the United States. Let's try vape roll in the United States and see what happens.
Right. The survey, because I knew literally nobody, I didn't know a soul. I just had been on Twitter a few months, I think. And I thought, well, after my conversation with my friend, I'm going to do the same type of questions. Basically, I stole it from him. I put it together, and the followers came because of that. It wasn't because Kevin's a nice guy or an asshole or whatever. It doesn't matter. And I had a lot of criticism. I wish I'd have kept some screenshots of that crap, because, well, who are you? And you should have asked it this way, and you didn't ask this, and you didn't do this right. Well, my answer after I stopped taking it to heart was, how about fuck you? If you don't like what I've done, do it better. Yeah. That's all. Take what I've done, change it, steal it, use it. What? I don't care. Do it better. So that's the idea to me of Twitter, is if I rile somebody up and they do something, a smarter way to do it, or Allison did something today and then it inspired me to do something else. I'm inspired all the time, except from you, Patrick, because I don't like you, but everybody does,
See, this is something that I've said lots, lots of people over the years, not so much anymore because I don't think anybody pays any attention anymore. But CASA, I would see tons of people criticizing CASA. Well, we don't like that. Right. And I'm like, if you don't like what they're doing, do something else.
Exactly. I don't care.
Do what you want to do and see if if your idea works, then other people will adopt your idea. Like I would, back in the day, I would write a blog I did write a blog every week.
Yep.
And constantly pushing letter writing campaigns.
Right.
Letter writing campaigns. Please
cares.
write a letter to your representatives.
Yeah.
And everybody would be like, why would I do that? I can send an email. And I'm like, because a politician knows how easy it is to send an email.
Yep. Yeah,
but if you actually go to the trouble of writing a letter and folding it and putting it in an envelope and addressing that envelope and putting a stamp on that envelope and putting it in the mailbox, an actual physical letter. And I've talked to politicians, so I know.
Mm-hmm.
I've been told many times, in their mind, a single handwritten letter represents more than just you, because damn sure there's probably at least another 20 people out there that are thinking exactly the same thing as you. Yep. So if they come into their office on a Monday morning and the mail comes in and they drop a mailbag on their desk with 100 letters in it, that's a big deal for them to actually see physical letters, 100 letters on their desk, because it's really hard as a politician. Many of you don't know this, but the mail and correspondence to every politician in the United States is protected.
Yep.
It has to be saved and it has to be put in storage. And for their, obviously later on in life, the National Archives keeps all of that. Mm-hmm. Everything that you send to a national level politician goes to the National Archives. So that is a legacy. So if, that's something that they have to keep. Emails, on the other hand, it takes the flick of one button to delete it. And they never actually even have to open it.
Yep.
But a letter written on paper or typed out on paper or printed on paper and mailed through the mail has to be saved.
Yep.
And people wouldn't do it. Like, I begged. I printed out lists of politicians' names, their addresses. These are, if you don't know who your representative is, here's the website that you can type in your zip code and it gives you the names and the addresses of everybody that represents you. And literally nobody did it. Like, I would talk to like Ted Cruz. I would talk to John Cornyn. I would talk to my representatives and say, are you getting any letters about this? And they'd be like, nah, just a couple that you sent or whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck. It gets so disheartening after a while. But you know what? Somebody will come up with something that everybody will want to do, and it will get traction, and en masse, they will see how many people there are. That's really the whole point, is to show them, like, they get estimates. People tell them how many people in America vape or whatever, but that number is just, it's just like ephemera. It's not a real thing until they actually see those letters. They see those people standing up and fighting for what they believe in. Then they will know. But yeah, I mean, when they say, oh, well, there's 20 million people in the United States that vape or use these products, that is just like a sort of transitory thing in front of them. But for them to receive thousands of letters in the mail, oh, that's a real fucking thing.
Yep.
But all right, Kev, how do you want to say goodnight to our people?
I think we ought to just revive the I'm proof with.
Well, I can't replay it again.
No,
I wish we could. I wish we could. I think they
hashtag.
actually trademarked that shit. I think they actually
just a hashtag.
Oh, well, we can keep the hashtag. You can't trademark a hashtag.
No, just revive it. That's all.
Let's do that. And add hashtag vape roll.
That's exactly what I'm getting ready to type.
So anyway, yeah. Y'all, I mean, we ask you to do stuff sometimes, and that's one of the things, if you want to spend a few seconds and do a little video. Hi, my name is, I've been vaping for this long. If you want to add in what you vape, I vape, cotton candy, or I vape, peach watermelon, or whatever it is. I can tell I've been vaping this long that my lungs are healthier. I don't cough. I don't wheeze. I don't smell, whatever it is. And I don't want to go back to smoking. Vaping has worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then tweet the shit out of it.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be eloquent. Just state the facts.
That's it.
And put it out there. And then when you tweet it, do the hashtag vape roll. We'll hijack the shit out of that. That may be some company in the UK's hashtag, but we'll take this. We'll take it. We've taken hashtags before, usually from our enemies.
We've stolen on domination of hashtags.
We have swiped the shit out. I mean, we have done it so well that they've done scientific studies on how many of us are bots and stuff. I've never been deemed a bot, so that's for me.
There's my final thoughts right there. I'm going to steal it from the cranky old broad. A voice cannot be heard if it is not used. Period.
Yeah,
that's
period.
Literally yes. That's what Karen said on the video.
Yeah, and there's a Twitter address that I can't do anything with, but yeah.
Oh, troop, calm down.
All right, boys and girls, you have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Try not to get into too much trouble, but I think it's time to be naughty and stir up some trouble. And we'll see you in 7 days. Let's play some videos and see you later.
But guess what? We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
To confuse the public about science, to confuse scientists about science. What?
The question, how does one man assert power over
another. Obedience is not enough. Power is inflicting pain and humiliation, otherwise you cannot be sure. Power is tearing human minds apart and putting them together again in new shapes of your own choosing. Power is not a means, it is an end. All competing pleasures we will destroy. If you want a vision of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government and to provide new gods for their future security.